Right now, somewhere in the world, a person is sitting at a dinner table. They are laughing at someone's joke. They are asking about someone's family. They are fitting in perfectly. And the people around that table have absolutely no idea who they are really talking to. That person has a different name. A different history. A different life, constructed so carefully, so completely, that even their closest contacts believe every word of it. They are not an actor. They are not playing a character. They are the character. This is the reality of working undercover for the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, the most powerful intelligence organization in the history of the world. No gadgets. No car chases. No tuxedos. Just a human being living a lie so convincing that nations have fallen because of it. So what does it actually take? What does your life look like, from the day you are recruited, to the day you run your own network of spies? This is your life as a CIA operative. Forget everything James Bond taught you. The CIA does not want James Bond. James Bond would be fired in his first week. He is too visible. Too memorable. Too much himself. The CIA wants the opposite. They want the person nobody remembers. The person who blends into every room. The person who can be anybody, because they have spent years learning to be nobody in particular. The real CIA operative does not drive Aston Martins. He drives a 10-year-old Toyota. She lives in a normal apartment. Wears normal clothes. Has a normal job. That is not her real job. This is called cover. And cover is not just a disguise. Cover is a full identity, a backstory, a career history, a family narrative, a set of opinions, habits, and quirks that must be maintained every hour of every day. Because the moment your cover breaks, even for a second, people die. Not figuratively. Literally. The assets you have spent years recruiting, the local contacts who risk everything to pass you information, they are exposed. And in many countries, exposure means execution. This is the weight that every CIA operative carries. Not a weapon. Not a gadget. The knowledge that other people's lives depend entirely on your ability to never, ever slip. The CIA does not post job listings the way most organizations do. They watch. They identify. They approach. Recruiters from the CIA attend top universities, looking for specific profiles. Exceptional academic performance. Multilingual ability. High emotional intelligence. The ability to read people instantly and accurately. Comfort with ambiguity, because in intelligence work, almost nothing is ever black and white. And something harder to define, a certain quality of stillness. The ability to sit across from a dangerous person and feel nothing on the outside while processing everything on the inside. If you apply directly, the process begins with one of the most thorough background investigations in any profession. Your entire life is examined. Every relationship. Every financial decision. Every trip abroad. Every person you have ever known. Then comes the psychological evaluation. Not a standard personality test. A deep, probing assessment designed to find every pressure point, every vulnerability, every potential lever that a foreign intelligence service might use against you. Because the CIA needs to know your weaknesses before the enemy does. Then the polygraph. Multiple sessions. Questions that go places most people have never been asked to go. The process takes months. It is invasive. It is uncomfortable. And that is entirely by design. Because the work you are about to do is more invasive, more uncomfortable, and more demanding than anything the selection process can prepare you for. If you survive selection, training begins at Camp Peary. Known inside the CIA as the Farm. A classified training facility in Virginia where new CIA case officers learn how to operate in the field. The address is not secret. The contents are. At the Farm, you learn surveillance. How to follow someone through a city without being seen. How to detect when you are being followed. How to lose a tail in a crowd without looking like you are trying to. You learn dead drops, the art of passing information without ever meeting the person you are passing it to. A chalk mark on a mailbox. A specific book left in a specific library. A thumbtack in a specific wall. Signals so mundane that only the person who knows what to look for would ever notice them. You learn brush passes, two people walking toward each other, a document exchanging hands in a fraction of a second, neither breaking stride, neither making eye contact. You learn to construct and maintain a cover. You are given a fictional identity and tested against it, strangers approaching you, asking questions your cover must answer without hesitation, without inconsistency, without a single crack. And you learn the most important skill of the entire profession. Elicitation. The ability to make someone tell you things they never intended to tell anyone, while they believe they are simply having a pleasant conversation. No interrogation. No pressure. Just the right questions, in the right order, at the right moment, and people will tell you everything. Training ends. Your first posting arrives. You are assigned to a CIA station inside a US embassy in a foreign country. Your official title is something innocuous: political officer, economic attaché, cultural liaison. Your real job is to recruit human sources. People inside the target country's government, military, or intelligence service who will pass classified information to the United States. This is called HUMINT, human intelligence. And it is the most valuable and most dangerous form of intelligence collection that exists. Your first task is to build a network. Not of spies, not yet. Of contacts. People you meet at receptions, conferences, dinners. People whose trust you earn over months through patience, consistency, and genuine human connection. Because a good CIA case officer is not someone who manipulates people. The best ones genuinely like people. They are curious about people. They find every human being interesting, and people feel that. People open up to someone who makes them feel seen and understood. And then, slowly, carefully, you begin to identify who among your contacts might be willing to take the next step. Who has access to valuable information? Who has a grievance against their government? Who needs money? Who needs protection? Who simply believes in what you stand for? These are the four motivations: money, ideology, coercion, ego, mice. Every recruitment in the history of espionage falls into one of these categories. Finding the right motivation and using it ethically, carefully, and effectively is the art at the center of everything you do. The recruitment pitch. This is the moment everything builds toward. You have spent months with this person. You know their family, their fears, their ambitions. You know what keeps them awake at night. You know what they want, and what they are willing to risk to get it. And now you ask. Not directly. Never directly. You frame it. You give them a way to say yes that feels like their own decision. That feels like the right thing to do. Not betrayal, but contribution. Not spying, but protecting something they believe in. The best recruitments in CIA history were not coerced. They were chosen. The asset wanted to do it. The case officer simply created the conditions that made the choice feel inevitable. If they say yes, the real work begins. You are now running an asset. A human being who is risking their life every time they copy a document, attend a meeting, or pass you information in a dead drop. Their safety is your responsibility. Your judgment determines whether they live or die. One mistake, a phone call from the wrong location, a meeting at the wrong time, a document photographed under the wrong light, and a foreign intelligence service is reading the same file you are. And your asset disappears. This is not a metaphor. People vanish. Families receive no explanation. The CIA officially never knew them. This is the reality beneath the glamour that no movie ever shows you. While you are watching your targets, someone is watching you. Every foreign intelligence service in every country you operate in knows that CIA officers work under embassy cover. They know the general profile. They watch the embassy. They watch who attends diplomatic events. They watch patterns. You must assume you are being watched. You must plan every meeting as if it is being surveilled. You must vary your routes, your timing, your habits, because routine is the enemy of survival. The most dangerous threat is not the surveillance team following you down the street. It is the penetration, a spy inside the CIA itself. The most damaging spy in CIA history was Aldrich Ames, a CIA officer who spent 9 years passing the identities of US assets to the Soviet Union. At least 10 CIA assets were executed as a direct result of his betrayal. This is why CIA officers are polygraphed regularly throughout their careers. This is why trust inside the organization is earned slowly and never given completely. In this world, the person sitting across from you might be exactly who they say they are. Or they might not. Years pass. Postings accumulate. Assets recruited, run, and eventually retired. And one day, you stop being the case officer in the field and become the handler. The person who runs the case officers. This is a different kind of power, and a different kind of responsibility. Now you are not just protecting one asset. You are managing an entire network, multiple officers, multiple assets, multiple operations running simultaneously in multiple countries. A mistake by any one of them comes back to you. A handler develops a specific kind of vision, the ability to see an entire operation from above. To see how the pieces connect. To see vulnerabilities that the officers on the ground cannot see because they are too close to their work. The best handlers in CIA history were not the most daring field officers. They were the clearest thinkers. The ones who could hold complexity without being overwhelmed by it. The ones who understood that intelligence work is not about action. It is about patience. The information that changes history is almost never obtained dramatically. It arrives quietly, in a dead drop, in a whispered conversation, in a document slipped across a table at an unremarkable dinner in an unremarkable city. And the handler who receives it says nothing. Changes nothing. and waits for the right moment to use it. Most people will never know the names of the people who protect them. The case officers who spent years building relationships in dangerous countries. The handlers who ran networks that prevented wars nobody knew were coming. The assets who risked, and sometimes lost, everything. They do not get parades. They do not get statues. Some of them do not even get acknowledged. On a wall at CIA headquarters in Langley, there are stars carved into marble. Each star represents a CIA officer who died in service. Many of the stars have no name beside them. Because even in death, the cover must be maintained. That is the life. Anonymous. Invisible. Essential. If this gave you a glimpse into a world that operates in the shadows, subscribe. Because next week we go inside another world most people never see. Drop a comment, could you live a double life? See you in the next one.